Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you a couple of switches here. Okay, now these are actually switches that I use on my lights, okay, believe it or not. Okay, so I thought I'd show you the two different types of switches that I use on my lights, okay, so you get an idea. Okay, of course, all the videos where I've shown you all the lights, you've probably seen the switches, okay. So I thought I'd better show you what the switches actually look like when they're not onto the light. I think I did do a video of actually installing one, okay, but this is just what they look like when they're not installed. Okay, so when these are not installed, I keep them stored away in containers, okay, until I'm ready to install them. Okay, so we've got two different types. Here we have an Architrafe switch here, which is your Clipsal 2000 series. And then we have this little, I don't know what this is, toggle switch, I think. Okay, a toggle switch, I believe is what they call it. Okay, I could be wrong. Okay, now both of these are 240 volt AC, okay. With these toggle switches here, you can get them in lower voltages. You can get them in 12 volt and everything like that, because these are also used on cars, some boating equipment, some other types of equipment, radar equipment and all that. Okay. So that's where you'd see these. There's also covers and stuff that you can get for these as well. Okay. So like flip up covers and grommets. All right. So I'm going to show you both of these. Okay. Now depending on the batten and everything, usually I'd use a white switch. This is the only Architrafe switch I had out to show you, so I don't have any white ones. It's spare white ones. Okay, so this is a Clipsal 2000 in black. All right. It wires up quite easily. You put your live wires in here, so you put your live in, and then you put your load in there. The extra terminal there is for two-way switches, but that's technically irrelevant for me. I don't use that. All right, and for this one here, the way I install the wires on is I use red plastic connectors. You can solder them, but I find using red plastic connectors is a little bit safer, okay, especially with 240 volt, and they're also insulated. Okay, so you put those on there. So this one here would probably be your line in, and this would be your load. Okay, so this one here is known as ST0581. Okay, now I've got some light fittings out here to show you what the switches look like on the fittings, but I'm going to show you, just showing you the switches, what they look like when they're not on the fittings. Okay. So this one here I use on all my my battens. Okay, so this style I use on all my batten lights, like the Element battens, for example. Okay, you might remember them, the emergency battens, the Clevertronics. You might remember my Black Lightnings, the White Hawks, the Gold Hawks, Guide batten. Okay, and all that. So that's the type of switches that I use on those. Okay, now usually depending on how many tubes the batten has, depends on how many switches I use. Okay, so usually I give each tube its own switch. Okay, so this one here would be for a single tube batten. Okay, so if I wanted a double tube batten, I'd need a double version. A triple tube batten, so I need 4, or a quad, I'd need 4 switches. Okay, so okay, now this type of switch here, this is a switch that I use on weatherproof battens and of course DJ lights. Okay. Now, with the weatherproof battens, there's actually a rubber grommet that I put around the mechanism to make it waterproof, okay? And for the DJ lights, I just put it on here like this without the grommet on it, okay? I also use this switch on some LED floodlights as well, okay? So to install this is quite simple. You just drill a hole into the side of the fitting, okay? That size, and then you can use this nut here that comes with it to find out what drill bit you need. Then what you do is you put it through and you basically put it on here and tighten up the nut. Now, if you're using the weatherproof grommet, you don't use this nut because the grommet has a screw thread on it. You just use that to tighten it up. Okay, so you tighten that up. Okay, that locks it to the fitting. With this one here, I just drill a hole that diameter, okay, or cut a hole with a Dremel, okay, or you can use this as a template, okay. Then I put this on into the batten, and then I'll just put 2 screws and that holds it into the batten, okay. Okay, when I have that in the batten, I basically just wire it up. So this one here, I just plug the wires on. Okay, this one here, I just need to screw the wires on. All right. So so they're the switches there. Okay, I'm going to push these off to the side, and we're going to take a look at what they look like under the lights. Okay, so this is my Beams LED DJ bank. You're pretty sure you've seen that before. Okay, on the back here, I have one of the switches on here. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, on the fitting, so I can switch this on and switch it off. So on, off. Okay, this one here is not plugged in, as you can see, but it will. But that's how it operates. So switch on and off. Okay, so that just switches it on. Okay, and that switches it off. Okay, because with these type of lights, I can't really put these type of switches on here because there's not really enough room inside for it. Okay, so this one's more compact, so it allows me to accommodate this type of light fitting, okay, and it works. Okay, so I can switch this on and off without having to unplug it. Okay, and the plug it uses is just a computer cable. Okay, now originally this had a fixed plug, but I converted it to have a removable one just because it's more convenient. Okay, so that will be on, and that will be off. Okay, but it won't work unless it's plugged in though. So that's one example. Okay, we'll set that off to the side. Okay, now here's a weatherproof batten here. Okay, this is one of my Davis weatherproof battens. Okay, now the switch I have on here is right here. Now this one has the rubber grommet on it. Okay, so what you do, so for weatherproof battens or any batten wet area, you use this on here. Okay, the reason is because it makes it waterproof. It protects it from water. Okay, so this is good for a weatherproof batten. Okay, because there are weatherproof switches like this that you can get from Clipsal, but they're too big and bulky. Okay, so I just get these small ones and they work. Okay, so I can switch, that's on and that's off. But once again, the batten is not plugged in, so it's not going to turn on. But it's just that's just what I use on weatherproof battens. Now this is a single batten. If it were a double batten, I would have 2 switches. If it were a triple, I'd have 3 switches. Okay, so but this is only a single, so it's only got 1 switch. Okay, so it's just on and off. Okay, so that's that one. All right, now we'll take a look at a non-weatherproof batten here, which is this Davis single tube batten here. Now this has got just a standard non-weatherproof architrave switch on it. Okay, it's basically this one here. Okay, one of those. Okay, but this is what it looks like on this one. Okay, so this one here allows me to turn this on and off without having to unplug it. Now once again, there's no power, so it's not going to work, and there's no tube in it, but that's what I use it on. Okay, it works pretty good on these battens. Okay, it does a good job. So this is a single batten, so it's only got 1 switch, but if it were a double, it'd have 2 switches. If it were a triple, it'd have 3. Okay, but that's how it works. Okay, so that does a very good job. Okay, so it's switches. Putting switches on your light fittings is quite good because it makes it convenient. Okay, usually if it depends on what you're doing with it. Okay, if you want to, but usually the switch will be mounted on the wall, on the architrave, or on the wall. But you can buy a switch to just put onto the fitting. Okay, so you just cut a hole into the fitting, and then you drill 2 holes for the screws. You put the switch on, you wire it into the fitting, and away you go. Okay, and the same for this one here. Okay, so and that will be the same for the weatherproof batten and all that. So that's basically it. Okay, so that's the switches for my light fittings, the switches that I use on them. Okay, so we've just got your standard type for the battens, okay, for non-weatherproof battens, and then I have this toggle style for my DJ lights and of course my weatherproof battens. Okay, so I bought this from Bunnings. Okay, you can buy these at Bunnings or your electrical store. This one here, Bunnings don't sell, but you can buy it at Jcast. They sell these. Okay, and they're not too expensive. Okay, just be sure you buy one that's 240 volts because these come in different voltages. You got to just take a look at it here. This one here is rated for 240 volts AC, so that's the rating of it. This is 240 volt as well. Okay, so that's my switches. So I hope you enjoyed, and that'll be it.